And we are recording.
Need to be free thinkers, then we need to learn how to feel free. People say feel free, but we don't even know how to feel free or think free. Say what you feel, positive or negative. Welcome to the
Welcome, YouTube. This is Mumin Radi. I'm here with Alicia Renee. Is it Renee? That's how you say it? Renee or Renee?
Alicia Renee. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Renee is great. We here making a video. We're just gonna have a discussion, basically talking about BLM, and we're gonna put our thoughts on it. I'm just gonna go ahead and give it to Alicia. She's gonna tell us about herself and what she's into. Alicia, what's your name and where you're from? What do you do?
Yes. Well, you guys know, as he said, my name's Alicia Renee. I am from Broward County, Florida. A lot of people familiar with Broward County, but like Fort Lauderdale area. I'm pretty much just a political commentator. My Instagram is Alicia Renee, but it's spelled a little weird. You might tag it here in the video below. But yeah, I'm a political commentator, just basically following up with what's happening in the political world, pretty much keeping up with BLM, the LGBTQ community, keeping up with all of those things, and also with the Second Amendment that conservatives are trying to keep up with, and just talking all things politics, pretty much. I wouldn't want to say like, I don't know. I guess I would say I'm a conservative, but sometimes the conservative party can go super right sometimes. But yeah, that's pretty much what I do. I just comment on everything that's political at the moment.
Okay. Did you say where you're from?
Yeah, Broward County, Florida.
Florida. Oh, you in the state of freedom right now. That's what's
Yeah,
up.
the state of freedom, but the county from hell, I should say.
Oh, okay. So it's a blue
Yeah,
area.
Broward County. Yeah, Broward County and Miami-Dade County, they're like the worst. Like when Ron DeSantis pretty much was like, you can't tell the kids to wear masks anymore. Like they can all take them off. Broward County was like, yeah, right. We can do whatever we want to do with our kids. You can't tell us what to do. And they kept the mask mandate in place. So my son had to continue wearing the mask in school, which now it has gone away and school's over, so I don't have to worry about that anymore.
At least for the summer, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I want to play a couple of videos here. The video I'm gonna show is Fox News talking about BLM and how pretty much BLM is kind of collapsing. They pretty much collapsing basically,
Yeah.
and I believe one of the former leaders or founders or something like that is going to speak on it, and
Hmm.
we're gonna check out our take on that and see exactly what's going on here.
Some explosive claims coming from a founder of the Black Lives Matter chapter in St. Paul, Minnesota. In newly released video, Rashad Turner says he, quote, learned the ugly truth, end quote, about the organization.
I believe the organization stood for exactly what the name implies. Black lives do matter. However, after a year on the inside, I learned they had little concern for rebuilding Black families, and they cared even less about improving the quality of education for students in Minneapolis.
Charlie Hurt, what burst onto the scene for that former supporter of Black Lives Matter, the organization, to have such an about face about it?
Well, I think that he probably represents a lot of people who got sucked into the messaging of the organization that believes that, yes, we don't want bad things happening to Black suspects in police custody. We don't, there was like a 99% support for doing anything that made policing safer for everybody involved. But they managed, these people that were involved in BLM managed to twist it around and politicize it to a degree that I don't think anybody expected. And it's all very, very simple. If you cared about Black lives, why would you defund the police? If you cared about Black lives, why would you take away security in Black neighborhoods? If you cared about Black lives, what would you do? You would try to encourage, you would try to do everything you could to give parents the ability to and options to send their kids to good schools that are safe and made safe by good police officers. But that's not what this organization did. They politicized it. They did everything they could, what we saw all summer long. And it began to dawn, I think, on a lot of people that, wow, maybe their top priority isn't Black lives here.
You know what's so interesting? So Jason Chaffetz told me last hour, Emily, some of what Charlie is saying is so true when it comes to the resources that should have been going and the advocacy from BLM, the organization, that should have been going to areas where Black families live, particularly in the cities where the rioting was happening and Black-owned businesses were being torn down in the process. But that's not what is happening now.
No, not at all. And I think from what we understand now, not only are the communities not receiving any type of support or funding from this organization, but neither are their local chapters. Mm-hmm. So there's actually this discernible tracing being cut off, that it was all somehow going to some central head. And obviously we'll learn more, I think, as investigations and play out and more questions are asked. I also thought what was so disappointing to hear, so shocking, frankly, to hear, for example, Tamir Rice's mother said, they are hustling Black death, she said. They don't speak for me. And she said, they won't even talk to us. And it blew my mind that there was such a departure from the birth of the movement that this organization was supposed to represent, that they wouldn't even communicate with the mothers and fathers of people who had lost their lives at the hands of an issue that this, again, organization was supposed to represent.
Yeah, hustling Black deaths, but they happen every day on streets of America, not at the hands of cops. So those don't even get talked about by this group and many others. Kaylee?
Yeah, they don't get talked about. We say their names here on the show, Sequoia Turner, Legend Talaferro, and they don't get talked about, and they should be talked about, because overwhelmingly we're seeing crime increase in the cities. We cover it here every day, and children losing their lives waiting in a McDonald's line, tragically. And to your point about Tamir Rice's mom, she went on to say, well, as you noted, she tried to contact the head of BLM multiple times. She said that she wanted Patrice Cullors to help her reopen the investigation into her son, who was just 12 years old when he died. And the conversation fell off. And you had another mom say that the local branch raised $5,000 for her son's funeral, and she never saw a dime of it, she says. And they use the pictures, they use the names, but they don't help the families.
So, I would... Gosh, I'd love to talk with these three co-founders from the beginning, and I realized Patrice Cullors just quit.
Yes,
they're investigating, how she came about to pay for all of her $1 million in homes, and if she earned it, great. But they just want to know, because she didn't necessarily have a salary from BLM in the org. But I'd love to ask those three women: were you equipped to handle the response that you got? Because sometimes, you start something and you just have no idea how big it's going to become. But there's a difference, and Tommy, I come to you on this. There's a difference between what we now know as the movement of BLM and the organization.
Well, absolutely. When BLM started, I do believe that their intentions were pure. I do believe that they wanted to draw attention to what they saw as systemic racism and police brutality, which is a noble goal. And if that's what your organization wants to do, and that's the activism you want to create, you have every right to do that. But then I think something very ugly happened. The money, the power, the fame, the pop culture notoriety got to the heads of these organizations, and they started seeing dollar signs where they used to see true activism. And then I believe what we've seen in the last couple of years, especially the last couple of elections, is you've seen the Democratic Party and the leaders of the Black Lives Matter organization come together in some kind of an unspoken bond, an unspoken pact. We'll raise you up on a pedestal, you will make money, we will make money, we'll work together, we'll make sure that we're exploiting people, exploiting their emotions, and exploiting what the true cause used to be, to get everyone to flock in, to vote how we want them to vote, to donate where we want them to donate. And I still don't know, and I posed this question several times, I'm not sure anyone really has an answer. When someone donates to Black Lives Matter, the organization, where does that money go? And a year and a half later, and a year after George Floyd's death, what has BLM done to improve the lives in Black communities and any communities for that matter? What accomplishments can they tout? They've raised a lot of money. They've had a great presence. They've been bowed down to, put on this untouchable pedestal. And what have they really done for anybody besides themselves, besides political gain and a whole lot of money in somebody's pocket?
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm
Yeah, so that was a nice little handful. That was a while ago. I think that was around the time they went through their first couple of scandals. But we see the numbers is dwindling when it comes to Black Lives Matter as far as their support. And I want to ask you about that video that I just played. What do you think? I mean, what were your concerns? What do you think about it? Is there anything you want to bring up about it?
I mean, Black Lives Matter, it was like I always believed it was. It's an agenda. It's an agenda to get people upset and riled up and basically cause like racism for no reason. And it's like, for me growing up, I never had to worry about the police. Like, no one ever told me, oh, the police is watching you, or police don't like Black people. Like, I didn't have that growing up. So to experience this now, all I see is them pulling an agenda to basically, like I said, to get everybody riled up, to want to go out and fight and burn them things in the streets. Like, I don't want to say that these things don't happen, but I want to say that they're taking out of proportion, or however they give the perspective of it. You have to understand that we're looking at the media and they're always going to show you what they want you to see. So a lot of this Black Lives Matter stuff is dwindling because a lot of people are actually living outside of what the media is telling us. So they can see that, police aren't really hurting people. This is really like, we have bigger problems than the police shooting us. We have the people of Black Lives Matter actually stealing money from the community that probably should have went to these families, but they actually just used us to be able to make something out of a terrible situation. And that's why one of the moms said she didn't get anything out of it. They used her son. And I think they also used Breonna Taylor's name as well to get money out of her situation. So a lot of people see that they did not help the community with that money. I think they ran off and got a mansion, and it was ran by like 3 Black LGBTQ women that don't even care about Black families in general. They're looking to destroy the Black family. They don't care about us having the fathers in the homes and the mothers in the homes. They don't care about the children. It's just, like I said, it's all an agenda pretty much.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, definitely. Basically, if you think about like all the donations and things that I believe they raised almost about $10 billion within the beginning of that organization. Is a complete psychological warfare tactic that as far as like their higher ups, is involved with a lot of social engineering. When they first came out, it was just an ordinary group of people that was pretty much protesting for Trayvon Martin. And then from there, George Soros pretty much started funneling up, I believe, up to $20-something million. Can't give the exact numbers right now. I told you I lost all of my notes a little bit a couple of days ago. I didn't realize everything in my phone was washed clean. But George Soros funded $20-some-odd million. After he did that, Patrisse Cullors pretty much took charge of the whole thing. And then that LGBTQ group was being promoted as the leaders of that group. A lot of that funding that went to Black Lives Matter went into a group called Act Blue. And then when you look what Act Blue was doing with their money, they was pretty much donating to the Democrat campaign. So they was donated it to Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, all of pretty much all of them.
I saw that list. Yeah,
thousands of dollars, right? Hundreds of thousands of dollars. So basically, that shows that BLM was being used for political purposes. Like you said, to rowdy up Black people, keep Black people upset. And as long as the Black community is upset, they have a hard time thinking logically about
Yeah.
politics and what's been going on behind the scenes. You know, but what boggles my mind is I don't see how the average person on the left, average black person, cannot see um, all of can't see the propaganda through TV.
Yeah.
You know, and how all of these celebrities is being used. You know, I mean, I'm gonna say it like this: these celebrities is no different from these politicians in the form of sponsorships, because most of these celebrities be having 30 to 50 different types of sponsors.
Yeah.
And those sponsors, they say things like, oh, if you're going to promote my Pepsi brand, then you can't be seen with a Coca-Cola brand. You can't be seen in videos, not on your personal time. You can't, if you're doing a video, a Coca-Cola can cannot be sitting on a table in the back. You can't, unless you reach the contract, and you can be sued by the company. You know, so that shows right there that a lot of these sponsors have leverage on a lot of these celebrities' behavior, what they say, what they do, what they showing people, you know, and to have at least 30 to 50 sponsors, these celebrities is completely not themselves. Their whole personality has been bought off. So a lot of the things they talk about when they're in these interviews is all to please their sponsors. It's never really about them, even though they'll get up there and they'll say, you know, that's how they feel about something, you know, but in reality, they're trying to please their sponsors to keep that contract active.
Yeah,
You
if
know,
they say something or they'll backtrack, and like if they say something that they really feel strongly about, and then what'll happen is pretty much the group or whatever people that's over everything will come and say, oh, you have to apologize, or the LGBTQ group come, oh, you have to apologize, or Black Lives Matter says something to somebody and you're like, oh, you have to, they attack people and make them apologize and make them pretty much fit in that box that they want everybody to think in. And that's why we have, like you said earlier, like a lot of the censorship, because they want everybody to think one way pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much what it is. I mean, they come out with these guidelines, but they never really tell us in detail what are they talking about, what do they mean, or what it is. So basically, it's whatever they think they don't agree with, you know, is crossing their guidelines. You know, in social media, they got to come to a conclusion whether they're going to be a publicist, a public group, or a private group.
Private group ran by the government.
Right. I mean, they claim they're independent, but they're doing a lot of political BS. You know, so me personally, I don't trust these social media networks. As for me, I got strikes even on my YouTube. I got some. I don't know if it's strikes. I don't think it's strikes. I think I got like one strike so far, but it's like copywriting type strikes. I might get one from this for playing the Fox News clip, you know. But I'll just make another YouTube. As long as I'm able to speak my piece and say what's on my mind, you know, I don't mind. You know, and I also have another video I wanted to show, but this video is more talking about the Roe v. Wade, right? Roe v. Wade.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get a little down and dirty about how it affects the Black community, but I'm gonna show this video real quick.
Okay.
You guys want to sign up? Do you want to sign up? We're for women's rights. Begin in the world. Women's rights begin in the world. Roe v. Wade. Roe v. Wade. Roe v. Wade. Coat hanger Dodger. Coat hanger Dodger. That means your mom stuck a coat hanger up her hooey and tried to get rid of you, but she failed.
People are terrible. People are terrible. I mean, one thing I saw in that video, it wasn't a lot of Black people. It was a bunch of Black leftist unhinged people. You know, I think I've seen like one Black female, but she be mixed. But my thing is about that is black people is like at a high level of agreement when it comes to this abortion stuff. Black people on the left,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't really understand who runs it, where it came from, where this idea come from. They don't know anything about Satanism and that sacrificing children and women and things like that is a part of that religion. And how pretty much Planned Parenthood came to be. So I go around and I talk to people about it, and they really think abortions is a good idea. When I talk to a lot of people on the left, as far as black people, and sometimes I try to explain to them where the idea come from, which is Margaret Sanger and her. And at first, when Margaret Sanger was doing it, it was called the Negro Project or something. I believe it was something like that, the Negro Project. I had the clip of her article that she wrote, but like I told you, a lot of my stuff got wiped out. But the thing is, with Planned Parenthood, how they target the black community on purpose. Like there's more Planned Parenthood companies built in black, in pretty much the inner cities, in black communities, targeting black people. And this is why most of the advertisements and commercials they come out with Planned Parenthood, they have a black face on it. Do you think that that they are targeting black people on purpose to pretty much stabilize our population? Do you think?
I mean, I think so, because that was pretty much the main purpose of it. So that way they can stabilize the black community or pretty much try to get rid of the black community. But I do think like it's way deeper than that. For me, I follow Christ. I don't want to say I'm a religious or any of that. I follow Christ. And for me, I just see that a lot of people are being deceived right now. For me, like I understand why people would need to have an abortion. For me, I had one before, and it's like when you're in this world, it's tough in this world. And you just think that you're living the right way and you can just go and have all the free sex that you want and there's no consequences from it. That's pretty much what messes up a lot of people. So a lot of us don't realize it's just a way to kill us all. They don't want you to reproduce. That's why they're targeting us in a lot of ways. They're targeting us by not wanting us to, the family's gone. So you don't have a family, dad's out, mom's doing her own thing. Mom's also going out having babies by other men, or also getting pregnant and aborting these kids. Meanwhile, the kids are also going out to school and they're learning information. And also because the dad's also not around, a lot of the time they gain what the mom pretty much like. Sometimes moms aren't the best for especially black little boys to be around, and they should have their fathers. So now a lot of the black young boys are turning gay. So not only are they targeting us through abortion, now most of our black men are gay. So now we're not having any children. So they're definitely trying to get us out, like weed us out pretty much is how I feel. But it's happening for a lot of people. I don't want to say it's just like the black community. It's happening for a lot of people because there's this elite group that wants everybody out pretty much. And like I said, they want to target a lot of the communities. They want to get rid of all families. They want everyone to be gay. And they were sitting there talking about women's rights and what is a woman. They're confused about what a woman is. So how can you sit there and scream for women's rights and you can't even identify what a woman is? We had, what is the lady, the Supreme Court Justice lady that they just put through? She didn't even know what a woman was. And the Bible said that we will become educated fools. We'll be able to know how to do exponents and know the law, but we can't tell that a man's penis can't go on another man's rectum. Like, you can't do that. It's not healthy, and that's where monkeypox is supposedly coming from. The bathhouses, like, it's really bad. Everything is really bad, and they're definitely trying to do everything they can to wipe out a certain population, and also with immigration as well. That's another way to take out the black community. They're flooding in. We have the largest caravan ever coming right now towards the United States, and that's also going to affect a lot of our communities. And a lot of us don't see that. We're just like, oh, let them come in. This is stolen land anyway. Everybody can just come on in. And it's like, no, we have to protect our land. This is where we live. And they're using a lot of propaganda and deception to get a lot of people on their side, but it's not working anymore. A lot of people are waking up, and that's what they're trying to stop, which is what's going to happen in November if things don't get worse by then.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that, it's checks and balances. How you run the country is pretty much is in a smaller sense is how you run your house. Is how the country need to be ran too, through checks and balances. You get your paycheck, and you go and shot your paycheck according to your expenses. And you do it in a way where you're able to have money left for savings. And you don't overspend. What happens when you overspend, which is I know well because growing up I have no guidance at all at almost any level. Finance was one of them. So I used to just get my check, blow it up what I wanted to get, and the next thing you know, oh, I got this phone bill. Oh, I got this bill. I have this bill. I have this bill. And I wasn't prepared for it. I literally had to learn the right way, and it took me a while to get all of that stuff put together. But also about this abortion stuff, that I just don't see how a lot of people on the left claim that they're for Christ, or they're religious, and they're spiritual, and they support abortions. That part don't make sense to me at all. Like how, like it's like they don't understand that they actually, killing a life. They're actually harming a life. I don't think they go too much in depth when it comes to how valuable it is to bring life into this world, and for them to just dismiss it easily, that's very concerning, and it shows that they are on a dark path, and they are satisfied with it. Like they don't mind it.
They said whenever you can abort your baby when it's your body, so whenever.
Yeah, or over it's your body. Instead of coming out with better solutions, like, okay, let's do something to the point where we could minimize people actually getting abortions, which is, teach women that, that it's irresponsible to have irresponsible sex at a time you're not ready to have a baby or get pregnant. That's the best way. That's the best type of protection that they will have towards this. But a lot of people, they like living wild. They like living with no strings attached. No responsibility. And that seems to be that's a big problem. That's a big
Well,
problem.
that's what made me become a follower in Christ. Like, I actually sat down and read the Bible, and I saw, like, as long as you live like a life of lust, it'll never be an end to it. You'll continue to get heartbroken. You'll continue to hope that you didn't wake up with AIDS or some kind of STD. You'll have kids and multiple abortions. Like, if when you lead that lifestyle of lust, these are the dark paths that you go down, and that's why you save yourself for your right husband or your right spouse or whatever, and you guys get married, and it pretty much voids all of that. You don't have to worry about the hurt and the STDs. If you and your spouse are actually followers in Christ, you don't have to worry about any of that. I know people will be like, oh, well, you guys can go out and cheat and do whatever you want to do. No, if the two are actually followers and believe in the Bible, then yeah, you'll be able to go about it the right way. But if you're continuing to live this lustful lifestyle, then you'll end up in the LGBTQ community because you can't please that. So you'll want to go and lay with a woman. You'll want to go and lay with a man. You'll want to try different positions. You'll want to watch porn. You'll want to you'll want to have sex with kids and animals. It goes deep. Like the Bible said, and Jesus gave the biggest clue, it'll be just like the days of Noah. And a lot of people didn't pay attention to what they were doing back then. And like how they were saying they were mixing DNA, men and women laid together and did all of those things back then. So it's very important for us to pay attention to the times. Like a lot of people think we're in Revelations right now, to be honest. And Satan wants to abort a lot of kids because that's what he's done throughout history. Like Pharaoh, he aborted kids. I think another king destroyed, not aborted kids, but like killed a bunch of sons. And the reason for that is because Christ or the next savior is supposed to come through a woman. So in order to be able to stop that savior from coming, abort all the kids. But a lot of people don't see that. They don't know that. So that's why they think, oh, abortion is fine. This is life. Everybody goes through it, but that's not how life is supposed to be. God is supposed to be a part of everything. And that's why we're having problems in schools and problems with our kids and things like that. But God is taken out of a lot of places.
I definitely agree. Well, Alicia, it was definitely good talking to you. You could go ahead and tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me on my Instagram. Like I said, I think I'll give it to you so that way you can tag it in the video below. But yeah, I'm normally posting on my Instagram basically about everything that's happening, especially with what's happening with the Second Amendment right now. There was another shooting, I think, today that happened. So shootings are going to continue to happen every day, just like how the police shootings were happening. They were trying to get rid of the police. They got rid of the police by defunding the police. They got rid of the police by having them get vaccines. And now the police is going. The next thing to do is get rid of our guns. And that's why they're going to continue to have these shootings, just how they continue to have the police shootings, to be able to get one object out the way. And now we're on to the next, which is our Second Amendment. And the shootings will continue to happen. And I just want everybody to stay tuned. And if you follow me on my Instagram, I post a lot about this stuff on my page and actually on my stories as well.
Oh, I definitely know. I've been following you for a while. All right, guys. I want to thank y'all guys for watching. If y'all are here this long, y'all watch the video, you see what I'm saying right now, I appreciate you. You make sure you hit the like button, the share button, so you can show to people that it's a lot of us black folks waking up from this slumber that they're in, that left this psychological purge that they're doing on society, you know. So I believe is more black people that's woke than not leftist woke. I'm talking about like more black people that's actually woke. And
you don't even have to be a leftist or a conservative. You're just woke and like you can see what's happening.
Yeah, but they also go by that term woke. You know, like stay woke. You know, stay woke, stay vigilant. You know, so they think they're woke, but you know they can't possibly be woke, and they supporting abortions and all that kind of stuff that they don't know who's behind it and what it's actually doing. You know, and they supporting a party that's constantly desecrating their communities. You know, but share this video, you know, get it out there, hit the like button, make sure you hit that like button. I'm going to be making a lot more videos. I can't really give a certain time date. I can't schedule it because of the fact that my work schedule is at random. So I make videos whenever I have free time to do so. But I want you guys to make sure you hit that bell, so therefore you get all the notifications of the newest videos that I'll be doing. And I'm going to try to be doing lives at least once a week. So make sure y'all tune in, stay with us. And before you go, Third Eye Philosophy Merc. The link is below. You'll be able to get it and support the channel another way. And then there's another way. We also have memberships. You can press the join down there next to the Third Eye Philosophy name. There should be a join button. You press that join. It's $3 a month. Well, you will be getting exclusive content on my daily basis life, like far as me going to work, going shopping, and you'll see a lot of personal things about my personal life, and me staging to do my videos. When I buy new things to use in my videos for my channel, you'll see the unboxing. You'll see, you'll see my ideas of where I'm trying to go, what I'm trying to do. All right. With that being said, we out. It was good talking to you, Alicia. Hopefully we can do this soon again.
Yes, of course.
All right.
I'll be one of the greatest, that is a vow, yeah, that is a promise. Always wanting to be famous, just being real, yeah, just being honest. My haters won't always be nameless, give them no clout, I give them no power. Creators built different, they ancient, sooner than later, what will be ours? I keep an eye out for the numbers, I stay in contact, synchronization. To infinity, even beyond it, I am a common, no destination. A lot of things I am above, and there are a lot of things that are above me. Do not come for the people I love, cause then I get scary, then I get ugly, yeah. Ain't no problem when I'm the equation. Present, noted, observation. I'm not